Well, guys, how about this? We're back. 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks, we've had to live stream. One, because I just got lazy, but also just didn't really have the time. But also, the second time was for an incredibly stupid reason. Which, Wyatt right here tried to make sure that I was recording, and I swear, I watched myself hit the record button in Elgato, hit the record button on Audacity, and hit the record button on my voice recorder, and we're good. We're good this time, but, so...
I want you to check it a fourth time.
I remember. But anyways, welcome to episode 15 of the NASCAR Pit Stop Show. As always, Elijah Leonard with you, your host. Top right, that is Wyatt Walker. Top left, that is Zachary Taylor.
Hello.
And you might have just noticed that on my screen, Wyatt just gestured to the chat on the right-hand side of the screen and also waved to it as well. So that's actually kind of funny.
He's online. So what? Do I have to go over here to do it to him? Because on my screen, on my screen, I'm on the right. I'm on the right.
Yeah, on my screen.
I'm on the right.
Well, I mean, on my screen, you're on the right too.
Then what? Then why you mention? Isn't he on the left?
Yeah, he's on the left side of my screen.
And why you mention like go to the wall wait, you're pointing at my wall. Oh,
because the chat is on the right hand side of the screen.
Well, wait. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Just focus on my screen, okay?
Wow. How about that? But
I'm gonna go shave. I'll be back. No, I'm kidding. I think later we'll explain that. Anyways, continue.
So you might notice that we are short on a panelist, and that is Sean Ard. He had just reported to me that he's going to be gone throughout the next several episodes because of dealing with some personal things going on in his neck of the woods. So it's all right. Just hang in there, Sean. Whatever it is that you're going through, hopefully you can get through it, and hopefully you're back with us sometime. But until then, take it easy.
Yeah, we'll be auditioning for replacements later. I mean, what?
All right, so first up on the list, we got to get Nathan Stapleton. Wait, what? Yeah, that's kind of slim for him to get here.
Yeah, and then we gotta get Haley and then Janaya.
And then
figure out how to get them involved. Then get my girl in here. I don't know. We'll just figure it out.
Right. But jeez, man. So, okay. So I got a question for you guys, and I want you. I kind of think this is an obvious question, no brainer. I've asked this pretty much every week to start off the show. Thoughts on Talladega?
I got the predictions right on the Cup Series, all three. That's a rare thing to happen even on Talladega.
It is a rare thing to happen, and when I was looking through everything, I was like, he got every one of them right. Because
only Cup, Xfinity I didn't, but hey, I'll take it.
And you were the only oddball that chose Brad Keselowski as the driver to win, and it worked somehow. Then Logano was the driver to stay away from, and then on stage one, he just does a slow flip, and then wounds up finishing way in the back, and then Dark Horse was, who was it?
He finished 19th.
19th, which was his first top 20 of his Cup career.
And that still counts as being top half of
it. Does.
Top half of it, so hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, am I a little bit surprised about that? Yeah, but at the same time, no, because it happened at Talladega at all places, so...
And Talladega is one of the most unpredictable ones.
Talladega really is.
And speaking of unpredictable, let's go back to the lower series. How about Warburton's son getting the win? Jeb Burton. Finally, after being like up all three of the series, he finally gets his first Xfinity first ever NASCAR win. Let's get that out there.
Correction, he won the truck race in 2013 at Texas. He had to beat off Ty Dillon in order to do that.
I
So
did not.
this-
I actually did not know that.
So he has one win in trucks and now one win in Xfinity. So let's just say he gets a cup ride for Talladega in the fall. If he ends up winning that one, I think he'd join that list of drivers.
He will.
To get at least one win.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but he will join the triple threat winners list.
See that if he were to, but yeah, like Wyatt and I had the same thing, and we were trying to go for it at the same time.
But yeah, I even have a list on my Google Docs about all the triple threat winners,
Mm-hmm.
and the most recent one is Mark Truex. Yeah, it's Truex, because he won his first ever truck win. He got his first ever truck win.
Yeah, that's right.
Back at the Bristol Dirt.
Mm-hmm.
And there's still a couple more I still need to lift off, but we have spot for one more, and then to add on.
That is
Burton, Jeb could end up being in that. And how about this? Colleague Racing finally get a win in the 10 car.
true. So now all three of their cars have gotten at least one win.
That's right, and because their first ever win, if I go back to think about it, was the 16.
Yes.
That was from Ross Chastain.
Mm-hmm.
And then Haley in the 11.
Yep.
And then Allmendinger again with the 16.
Yep.
And now we're back, and now we finally got the 10 car in victory lane.
And also just something to kind of point out, and I thought this actually is kind of interesting, is that every first win for each number came at a plate track.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't catch. That is right.
Yeah.
And then it went on to do pretty good. Well, yeah, Ross Chastain did do pretty good. So
Yeah. He did. But already, Taylor?
Dega was very eventful. And hey, we got to see a first time winner in Xfinity. I kind of predicted that when we recorded, which you weren't actually recording that, but
Let's call it a mock run.
yeah. I predicted a first time winner. I just didn't get the driver right. But
technically I did too, but it was the other driver who drove the 8 car last year.
No, yeah.
But Dega was very eventful. We got to see Dibby up there nearly win that race. McDowell nearly won the race. I mean, we almost saw several upset winners in that Cup race.
You know, you talk about that. I still feel like it was unnecessary for Truex, knowing that he had a right rear going down and going to shreds, stay out on the racetrack and basically kind of, I don't know if he meant for the tire to, like, his right rear to get shredded off and cause a caution, but he was trying to cause something, and by gosh, he did. And that was the moment that ultimately costed DiBenedetto the win. If he were to hold off everybody for the last 4 laps of that time.
Yeah, and like you said, you bring up Matt DiBenedetto. How many times has he been close to getting that win? He has been really, really close to getting that first ever Cup win. And for Wood Brothers, we have talked a lot about how he has done really good. He's won the stage.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if he gets a ride next year, he will be in the Clash.
Yeah,
he will thankfully be in the Clash for another year, but just he needs to get a win, at least to figure out another ride for next year.
He really does.
Just for laughs, I feel like if he has to get a ride, he might either end up getting a Penske 4th car, or may take over Bubba Wallace in the 40th and the 23.
See, now that would be good.
That would be for that. But I do see more Penske I do see more Penske getting a fourth car than that.
That's, you bring that up, and I still think it doesn't make sense that Austin Cindric is, obviously driving a few races for them this year for Penske, but then next year he's going to the Wood Brothers, replacing DiBenedetto. It doesn't make sense, just to me.
Well, the Wood Brothers are affiliated with Penske, so that's where I kind of see the connection.
Yeah, but I mean,
that's where I see connection.
But think about this for a second. I mean, Cindric has done pretty decent in the 33. That's the only other thing I disagree with about the fourth car is the numbering. But other than that car's been fine. That car's been fine. So
I disagree with the numbering so much.
I really think that it would make a lot more sense for Cindric to stay with Penske, go up to the Cup Series with Penske, and leave DiBenedetto in the 21. That's just what I think. It doesn't make sense for him to just get completely kicked out of the Wood Brothers after this season to fill up a spot for somebody else who's basically whose dad is basically the president of Team Penske. Money talks, guys. Money talks. But still, I mean, it's good to see Cindric in the Cup Series, but at the same time, I don't like how it's going to happen.
And we talk about like drivers expanding in the Cup Series. How about Burton? I mean, he's been doing really well in that 20. He moved up. He actually did not bad at Talladega. Mm-hmm. Drove up, got got his first ever top 20. Almost could have gotten top 5. And I'm just not thinking about this. We talked about colleague. What about the Cup colleague driver who almost got himself a top 5? What about Kaz Gralla? Right. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, Kaz, I feel like has improved a lot ever since moving over to colleague, because I feel like that team, it just, in my opinion, is more relaxed for him. They're not really expecting him to go out and win. They're just expecting him to go out and have fun. That's it. And they're not running a lot of races this year. They're just running road courses and probably plate races with Allmendinger behind the wheel for the road courses, or some other the road course ringer, and also Gralla behind the wheel for the plate races, or whoever else they choose. I mean, Colleague, I feel like, is on their way up, and mark my words, they're probably going to start their Cup team full time maybe next year or in 2023. We're just going to have to wait and see.
I don't doubt that. I honestly don't doubt that. I can 100% agree on that. Colleague has been on fire. If they made a Cup team, I can already see like Haley and Gralla being the first two.
Yeah.
If they may start with one car, but if it has to be, they bring like 2 or 3. My money is on Gralla, Haley, and it wouldn't surprise me if Jeb Burton went up.
Yeah. Yeah, if Jeb Burton came back, that would be awesome. But alrighty, guys. Let's go ahead, give this Talladega weekend a grade. I'm going to start off with Zachary Taylor. If you could give this Talladega weekend a grade from A to F, what would it be and why?
Well, given how crazy Dago was, them going 3 wide like half the race, even 4 wide a few times, all the good racing, I would have to give this an A.
All right. As expected. How about you, Wyatt?
I'm backing that up. Like you said, all the crazy racing, the crazy finishes, the crazy winners we've had. I'm going with him, giving it an A.
Okay, all right. The only other thing that I'd probably be the one that's shocked about, but also kind of find funny, is that Denny Hamlin was determined to get his lap back, and then all of a sudden he gets caught up in a wreck, and it ultimately just ends his day.
Oh, yeah.
I was kind of laughing at that during the reactions. Just like, well, if he's not getting his lap back then, he's definitely not getting it back now.
Yeah, trying to get his lap back, and he got punted.
He got punted by his own teammate.
Wait. I want to change mine. I'm giving it an A+ because Logano flipped.
I'm just gonna jokingly change it from like an A to A+ for you.
Oh.
Jeez, man. But alrighty, yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you guys because the racing. I mean, I didn't watch much of the Xfinity race, but Cup, it was competitive. Cup on because like I was saying before, like during the reaction live stream on Sunday, even though I was the only one there. You know,
I gave you my reasoning why I wasn't there.
yeah, you did.
If
But you know what? It's fine. Anyways, this seeing as how things this season have just been super competitive, I was thinking that we were gonna have another winner, like another winner, ninth different winner. Yeah, ninth different winner this year.
we did get a 9th different winner though.
Yeah, we did in Brad Keselowski. So, I was thinking this Talladega race, seeing as how competition has just been so good this year, Talladega is going to be just as competitive as any other year. Just mainly because of the fact that it's unpredictable. You don't know when the big one's going to happen. You just have to anticipate it. And there really, honestly, as far as a big one goes, there wasn't a big one, like, you know, a big one that would involve like 10, 15 different cars or something like that. But it mainly was, there were just like a couple of wrecks that were kind of decently big, but also decently small at the same time. So they were kind of like a medium-sized wreck, kind of like a medium drink that you get at McDonald's. But from that, I'd have to give this an A for sure. But alrighty. So when we come back, we're gonna go ahead and get on down to some of the topics that we've got set for this one that we talked about last week, but due to my stupidity, I didn't even record last week, but we're gonna get it recorded this week. So don't go away, folks. We'll be right back.
Give a pin, sir.
What?
We're back for episode 15 of the NASCAR Pit Stop Show. I almost said 21, but we're not there yet. Another 6 weeks. We got another 6 weeks, but till then. But anyways, this is episode 15. As always, Elijah Leonard. Top right, that's Wyatt. Top left, that's Taylor. And we got some topics for you guys. We've added an additional topic, and we're actually going to start off with this one. It has been talked about for years. And I say that because this is not the first time that this has been talked about that this has been talked about, really, but junior motorsports. People have been talking about them, like, say, what if they went up to Cup? And seeing as how the Gen 7 car, that's coming out next year, and everybody's going to be switching to that, they're saying that this could create an opportunity for junior motorsports to try to buy a charter or lease a charter, whatever, and try to race in the Cup Series. With that in mind, let's just say they do. Let's just say they actually do buy a charter, buy a Cup car, and race in the Cup Series. What do you think? I mean, what kind of performance, should they do that, do you think Junior Motorsports is going to have in 2022? If they were to buy a charter and a Cup car and go Cup racing.
I like all this hypothetical to help you out, but like we meant, like about the new teams we have this year. Trackhouse and 2311. We've seen how they're doing. They're slow at the start, some more quicker than others. We've seen that. Notice happen real fast.
Yeah.
But honestly, if we had to pick if there's any teams that would probably move up to Cup that was from Xfinity, the only two I could think that would really do that and surprise all of us would end up being Colleague and Junior Motorsports.
Yeah.
And going to Junior Motorsports, here's the other question: what drivers would race in it?
No, that'd be a good question.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody, you'd probably have to go with some experience. So Allgaier would be the best choice for that one.
Agreed. And maybe like, because for his rookie year, well, he still needs to get like a full-time ride before he even tries to go up the Cup and not do another Anthony Alfredo. Josh Berry, he does have an Xfinity win,
Right.
so he may be a good one to start like a rookie year campaign with them. Michael Annett has some cup experience. Allgaier same way. Who's Noah Gregg. Can't forget about Noah Gregson.
Yeah, Gregson's another one. He'd be a good
But
candidate.
but we have to think about other candidates who's been in the Cup Series as well.
Right.
Who might be looking for rides like Brad Keselowski. I'll throw that name out there. Because hasn't he drove for Junior Motorsports, or isn't that where he first got his start?
In the very late 2000s. That's right.
Keselowski made his start at Junior Motorsports, so if Junior Motorsports end up coming up, and Keselowski's not with Penske no more, that would be the first place I would think he would go.
That's a good prediction right there.
And maybe Matt DiBenedetto to add on to that list as well.
Mm.
Yeah. Honestly,
What are your thoughts?
No,
go ahead.
I honestly think. Here we go again. Roblox. But no, I honestly think that DiBenedetto would be a good candidate as well, because I really don't think it's like, going back to this, I really don't think it's fair for him to stay there one more year only to get thrown out afterwards for Austin Cindric. Because Cindric, I feel like, is perfectly capable of staying with Penske and just move up to Cup full time with the team anyway. It only makes sense to do that. But anyways, I mean, just if there are no other teams available for Matt DiBenedetto, and if JRM goes up to Xfinity, maybe if Junior could, maybe he could sign DiBenedetto or Allgaier or even Keselowski to that car.
Gregson, so he could get his first ever Cup appearance.
Gregson too. I mean, Gregson's another good one.
And like we mentioned about Colleague, we still got a good driver. We could get AJ back. We could get like Haley, Jeb Burton.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, how about Harrison? He may do pretty good up there. He did pretty good. It's Talladega, but still.
Right. I mean, you could. You really could. All right.
What's your thoughts, Baylor?
Go for it.
It would be very interesting to see Junior have a Cup team. I think he could maybe sign Keselowski, like Wyatt was mentioning. Maybe have a JRM Keselowski reunion. Maybe, or even sign somebody that's already in the Cup Series that's looking for a ride, or maybe even pull an Xfinity driver up that he's got on his team right now. So
right.
It would be very interesting to see how they would perform up there in the Cup Series and what would happen with the Cup team.
That's interesting. I mean, we'll just have to keep our eyes out. We'll see what happens if this actually might be true later on down the road. I just threw this in here just for laughs because I actually did want to get your guys' thoughts on this one. But last Wednesday, not this past Wednesday, but last Wednesday, Keelan went iRacing in the Pro Invitational Series alongside his dad. And I kind of thought this was interesting, but also at the same time I thought it was cool. Like, he was the youngest. Did you know he was the youngest driver in the field at 8 years old?
I think we all knew that.
It was pretty clear. I was just throwing that in there for laughs. But I mean, like, Keelan, for what he was able to do, for the materials he was able to work with, even though, despite finishing 38th, he did fine. You guys think he did fine?
I didn't watch it.
Oh.
I didn't. I wasn't able to watch it. I was going to try to see if I get on Fox to rewatch it, but I never was able to.
They got the highlights on YouTube.
I know they got the highlights, but watching the whole thing is better than the highlights.
I mean, you got a good point there, but Taylor.
That was very interesting to see Keelan on iRacing, that's for sure. Especially young as he is, but despite where he finished, I mean, he actually did pretty decent. So he did a pretty nice job.
I would have thought this would have been funny. Like, on the last lap, Kevin went over to Keelan and said, "Hey, why don't you turn that car around and just drive into everybody?" And just Keelan would have done that. Watch some fireworks. Jeez, man.
You won't mention the iRacing thing. How is it that the driver who won the iRacing race won the actual race too?
And the driver that flipped in the iRace flipped in the actual race.
The coincidence? I think not.
Isn't it amazing of how coincidences just play out so perfectly sometimes? Man. Alright, let's move on to the next one. We talked about this last week, but it wasn't recorded. And I was like, you know what, screw it. Let's save it for this week. But Wyatt had brought up something that he probably knows better than the both of us combined in this one. So, Wyatt, you know it. Go for it.
The topic, this topic is about my favorite all-time driver, Carl Edwards. I think it's been like a good few weeks, maybe a month now. Carl Edwards talked to the race hub because they were checking up on him, see what all he was doing, and he talked about what all he was doing. He went, if I remember this correctly, he went all around the world. He's done stuff. He's done farming. He said he's not good at it, but he's doing it. I thought that was kind of funny. The one thing that got my attention, and if you're an Edwards fan, you love to hear this. It's not confirmed, but it's a maybe. He do a one-off race. And as a Carl Edwards fan as me, I've missed seeing him race. I haven't been in the sport long, but I've always liked Carl Edwards, and I've always watched back at him. Always happy to see him win his backflips. He was my favorite, and to see him do one more race would be awesome.
It'd be the proper send-off.
Exactly, and it would be an epic send-off if he won that race.
It would be,
and get one final backflip. Because if you remember, his last win, he never did a backflip.
Mm-hmm.
He saved it for Homestead, but he never was able to do it.
I wonder if he's been practicing at home.
Man, that would be awesome. That would be cool. But just, what's y'all's thoughts about it?
Well, first of all, the reason why I was laughing was because of the send-off that he had 5 years ago. Wyatt, I don't need to repeat it. He just knows. And I was thinking,
let's just say that that's why I was happy he flipped.
but also at the same time, I was thinking, if he were to be leading with about 5 laps to go, let's say he's racing at Coda, right? Or no, racing on the last lap at Coda. Let's just say he's leading, for instance, right? All of a sudden, here comes Logano, just bumps him out of the way, takes the win. That would be just as devastating as that event 5 years ago. And that would piss Wyatt off, and he'd go on a murder mission.
Yep.
We're saying that as a joke, guys. We're saying that as a joke.
Or is it?
I don't know about Wyatt, but you know.
It's a debate, but you bring that up, and and he did say, like, if he had to choose a track, it would be like a road course or a short track that he would come back.
Right.
He would come back to, maybe even Texas. I don't know. Well, not the road course, the speedway tracks. What I was thinking,
right?
But that's tracks I was thinking like he would try and go back and get a win.
That'd be good.
What about you, Taylor?
Well, Carl Edwards would be nice if he did come back and do one last race in the Cup Series, and it would be nice to see him come back, at least do one last race. And who knows, maybe he'll go back to his old team at Roush, or maybe JGR will have a 5th car for him for one race. Who knows? But being a Carl Edwards fan, being somebody who cheered for him and witnessing him lose 2 championships, that was kind of irritating. But I think it would be cool to see him come back if he did come back and do a one-off at some point.
It really would be.
Yeah, and you mentioned like him either going to Roush or Joe Gibbs Racing. That was another thing. That was a good topic. It's like, what team would he go? What team would he go for? Because the 2 main ones are Roush and Joe Gibbs Racing. Those are the only 2 teams he's actually driven for.
Right.
But in technically all 3 series, because I think he did Roush in the '99 Truck Series.
Yes.
Where he got his first start.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So he's driven in Truck Series for the last 2 years, in 2003 and 2004. He raced in Xfinity right around that time in 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, up till 2012. And then he made his first couple Cup starts in 2004, went full-time in 2005, and he was with Roush for 10 years, nearly 10 years. Then the rest of his career he was with the Cavs. So yeah, I mean, mostly, I don't know about Roush now. If he were, let's just say he does a one-off later this year or 2022. Let's just say that's confirmed that he's going to do a one-off. As much as it would be a homecoming, just one-off for him to go to Roush, I don't know about Roush right now, because ever since Edwards left, ever since Kenseth left, ever since Biffle left, ever since so on left, the thing is, listen, the thing is, Roush has been on a serious decline. I mean, one of the best examples of that is their Xfinity Series program. That 60 car had been wrecking every week, and they had no choice but to shut it down. They had to shut it down.
You mentioned that, and tough break for like Ryan Reed and at that time Bubba Wallace, who still was at the 6th. part-time for Eric Almirola after his incident back in 27. Wait, no, it was 2018.
No, it was 17. He was 17.
It
You're
was
right.
it was 17. Oh yeah, so even then, sucked for that. And think about the drivers who've done that, who was involved in that. Austin Cindric and Chase Briscoe, both old teammates for Brad Keselowski Racing, who were teammates, and then both did some part time between Penske and Cindric, Penske, and Roush, and for Briscoe, Roush, and Haas. You got yeah.
Don't forget Ty Majeski, because Majeski did a handful of
Yeah.
races in there too.
Well, Majeski
Majeski didn't have a second team to go to anyways. He was stuck with Roush.
Yeah. But the point is on that. The last time, if I remember correctly, the 60 actually did good was Chris Buescher when he won the championship back in 2015.
Yes. That was the only other year. 14 they did fine with Buescher. 15 was their best year. Hands down.
But yeah, but like I said, you mentioned like Roush Fenway dying stuff, and that did start from there. And you mentioned 2017. Ricky Stenhouse did kind of bring it back by getting 2 wins in the 17.
Yeah, but keep in mind those are at plate tracks. Remember that.
You got 2 in a row, and not disrespect from that, but Haley did 3 in a row at the Xfinity track, so that's still kind of impressive.
Yeah. But I mean, just in general, I really don't feel like that. Edwards may do a one-off with Roush, seeing as the state that they're in right now. Maybe if anything, he could do a one-off with Gibbs in a 4th car. Maybe with the 81. I mean, the possibilities, remember, they are there, that he could go to either one. But most likely, I'd see him drive for Gibbs and maybe an 81. I mean, that's just what I think.
Think about this. The numbers we've only seen him in are 19, 99, and 60 if you count Xfinity.
Yeah.
Do we really think we see Edwards driving a different number than those? I mean, we've been used to him seeing mainly the 99 and 60, but recently the 19, and he done pretty good with the 19.
He has, yeah. He has, but that's the only other number that I can think of off the top of my head that Joe Gibbs would end up using is 81. Because you remember, I mean, sure, Jeffrey Earnhardt drove an 81 car in Xfinity and sometimes in Cup, but that was not a Joe Gibbs car. That was looked like a Joe Gibbs affiliated car. That was, what was it, XCI Racing or something like that. That got its parts from Gibbs or something. I would believe so.
But still, though, I don't know. That's the biggest sinker if Edwards ever did, and the track is no help either. So,
right. So I mean, right now, it's kind of up in the air. That's all we know. We've made our predictions on what could happen, where he could go, what number, which track. Possibilities are up in the air, guys. Possibilities are up in the air. Speaking of possibilities, there might be a possibility, and that's a big word there, might, that the super speedway package might get changed. That's a big might, because we don't know if this is going to happen or not, because this, I think, is a question that is up in the air, I think, more than ever, because this super speedway package, as good of racing that this package can produce, this package has also produced some of the worst wrecks that you could ever see. Ryan Newman 2020 flipping upside down and up in the air. Brendan Gaughan doing literally an X Games flip up in the air going into 3. And 19, Kyle Larson flipping same year in the spring. This year Logano, even though his flip wasn't all too terrible. The thing is,
actually, sorry to interrupt you, but the Logano one, I remember hearing like an interview. It was like he mentioned like it was kind of almost a Ryan Newman experience. So
he did say that. He did say that. Because seeing as where the car ended up flipping, yeah, I can definitely. Or landing, sorry. Where the car ended up landing, the position that it landed in, it did kind of look, was very reminiscent to a Ryan Newman experience because it landed right on the top of the roll bar on his driver's side. Right near the A-post, too. Which almost crushed it in. And that would have been really bad. But yeah, the reason why I've been super vocal about the Super Speedway package is because, as I said, it's produced some really bad wrecks. It's also produced some really violent looking flips. The purpose of this package was to make the racing more exciting. It's a 9-inch spoiler. It's got, a tapered spacer. It's got no restrictor plate. The reason for the 9-inch spoiler was to slow down the cars, and there's a little lip on the end of the spoiler that's supposed to keep the car on the ground. At least from what I heard, it has not done that. If you hit a car just right, if you clip him just right and hard enough, it will flip over. So, I'm gonna ask you guys, seeing as how we've seen multiple flips throughout the years with this Super Speedway package, do you think it is time that this Super Speedway package has some adjustments?
I would say so. I don't even know. It's tough for me to like try to figure this one out. I mean, this one I don't know. To be honest with you, I'm trying to think of something to say. I honestly don't. I'm trying. So I'm gonna say that all the flips and stuff. I mean, it does make it more exciting, but at the same time, for the drivers, does make it a bit more dangerous. So I'm torn. I'm like 50-50. It's just I suck at figuring out what to say about this. Taylor, you got any luck?
Well, obviously we have seen good racing out of this Speedway package, but we've also seen some very nasty wrecks, and obviously you don't want the drivers being hurt and killed in a crash or anything like that, and so it will be interesting to see if NASCAR potentially tweaks the restrictor plate racing package a little bit to prevent the cars from being so dangerous and maybe add some safety to them for races like Daytona and Talladega.
Yeah. And if you go back to the Newman one, honestly, that was the worst one out of all of them, because that could have been so worse. Because number one, that wreck could have killed him, and number two, if that car had gone far enough into the catch fence, I don't even think that probably would have happened because of the strength of the catch fence. But say if it were to go through the catch fence, it would have been a whole heck of a lot worse than what it looked like. So I say it'd be best make some adjustments to the package, maybe lower the spoiler heights because the spoilers are just absolutely huge. Shave off maybe about 3 inches or something like that, so that way the drivers can see what's going on behind them instead of just having to look in the mirror and see this big giant spoiler in their mirror, instead of having to see what's going on behind them. All they'll see behind them is probably just a smoke if there's a wreck that happens behind them. So I say just take the spoiler down 3 inches, and if anything, put the plates back on the cars if you haven't already. You might as well. And just if anything, make sure you can keep the cars pinned on the ground, for goodness sakes. Because at least once every year that we've had this package, we've had at least one flip. At least one. And that is it. Well, other than Kurt Busch as well, I forgot to add this one. Kurt Busch in the fall, he went up in the air. Even though he got some assistance from other cars. But, you know, that's how it be. But alrighty. I think we have gotten through all of our topics. So when we come back, we are going to preview Kansas and give our predictions. So don't go away, folks. We'll be right back. And we're back here at the NASCAR Pit Stop Show, episode 15. And guys, we're going to be previewing Kansas. We're finally into the double digits as far as racing is concerned in the 2021 season. We're starting to get in there now. So, coming into Kansas, what kind of racing do you think we're going to have to witness or try to watch out for?
Well, with Kansas, the last 2 times we've been there, we got cars like always going up on the high lanes, just like trying to make the high lane work, some crazy finishes. It does get boring, it get a little bit boring, but it's still not bad. It's pulled off some great surprising finishes.
Yeah.
Both Cup, Trucks, and Xfinity, so
Okay.
I'm expecting some pretty good stuff. What about you, Taylor?
Well, I mean, we have seen some good 1.5 mile racing this year. So if that carries over to Kansas, I think we'll have a pretty nice race. And who knows? I mean, we could see some cars rim riding the wall and all over the racetrack, depending on how the car's handling and stuff. But I think Kansas is going to be a good weekend.
It should be.
Most definitely.
It very well should be. And might I add, this is also the... I don't even know if Kansas had put this up last year or they're going to do it this year, but this year is their 20th year. The 20th year that we'll be racing in Kansas. So.
Really?
Really. Because if you remember, the Speedway opened up in 2001, and well, here we are, 20 years later, still racing in Kansas. Alrighty, guys.
Was it Gordon the first winner at Kansas?
Yes.
If I remember that correctly?
Yes.
Nice.
Okay. So here we go with predictions. It's Trucks and Cup that's there this weekend. Sean is not here, as I said, to put up the entry list, so I managed to find them on NASCAR.com. So that's a reference right there. So if you want to look at that. So, predictions. Here we go. The driver to win, that's self-explanatory. The driver to stay away from is the driver that hasn't been doing good in the last couple of weeks. The dark horse is the exact opposite. So, 1 point per category. And what race is after this one? Let me see. Because the reason why I ask is because we're coming up some of the inaugural races, and I know I didn't do this for Bristol Dirt, but the inaugural races and as well as the Crown Jewel races will be double points. So, that's why I bring that up. But either way, let's figure out who we're gonna pick. So, Zachary Taylor, you're up first. Nice interruption there, Wyatt.
Okay, now we have a little thumbs up session there. Okay, let's get down to business. Alrighty. Alright, so I have it to write on my predictions down. And for trucks, the driver I think I'm going to pick as my driver to stay away from, just given how he's been finishing his stuff this so far, I think I'm going to have to say Raphael Asar will be my driver to stay away from. My dark horse, I'm going to take Zane Smith as my dark horse. And my driver to win, I think Austin Hill is going to get his first win of the year in the truck.
He won the first Kansas race at last year of the 1 and 2, so that's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did. Alrighty. For Cup. Driver to stay away from. I think for my driver to stay away from, I think I am going to say Kurt Busch will be my driver to stay away from.
Ooh. That's not bad, because last year he did have that mess up that screwed him from a chance to get in the championship 4, so...
Dark horse.
I'm not sure Elijah liked that one.
No, it's something else. I'll tell you later.
You mean your hat?
Nope. I promise it's not that.
Alright. Alrighty. We can have a meeting in the parking lot after the show. Anyway. Okay. Dark horse. I am going to take somebody who had a great run at Dega, nearly won. I'm going to take Dibby as my dark horse. He's had an adventurous year.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how he does at Kansas. Driver to win.
Before you say that, I will double down. I double down on the Benedetto because he is actually pretty good at Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not bad. It's not bad.
All right. Let's get down to business for the driver to win here. The driver I think is going to win the Cup race. I think we're going to see a repeat winner, but it's not NTJ. I think we're going to see our second repeat winner of the year, and it's going to be William Byron winning that game.
The irony of here's the irony of that one. I was at, if you know what I'm thinking, I was at the 2018 spring Kansas race.
Oh yeah.
If you know what I'm thinking of, you know why I find the irony of that being a win. I think that's when he first had his bad wreck. The first bad wreck he had.
Okay. So before I let Wyatt loose on his predictions, the reason why I was making the face that I was making was because Kyle Busch is in this race for trucks.
Oh, son of a... I had a feeling.
So did I.
Of course, Kyle Busch is in the race. Of course, he's in the race.
And of course, well, obviously you got Briscoe in there too, but
Okay. DM me the list so I can make my predictions.
okay.
Real quick.
Here we go. I'm screenshotting left and right. Here we go. Oh boy, I gotta take like 4 different parts of this and just screenshot it all. Here we go, doodle-doo. And hang on, these will. I'm gonna actually put them in here. I'm gonna screenshot the rest of the Cup entry list and put it all in here.
Well, just do truck series. I could take care of Cup real quick. I just need trucks.
Well then, trucks is coming in here real fast. Boom.
I just mainly need the. Where'd you?
Entry lists.
Oh, it's an entry. I thought you were actually going to DM it. Okay. Well, this will work. Trucks are the main things I really need. A Cup, I can just wing it by ear. Just looking at the list and thinking about the last 2 Kansas races we went to. My dark horse, it might end up being, let's go Crafton. Crafton's pretty good. He won the second Kansas race and finally was able to get back to victory lane in like 3 years.
Yeah.
So Crafton is my dark horse for this one. My driver stay away from this is a tough one. I'm torn between a couple drivers, but I think if I had to choose, I may just go off and end up going with her.
Aww.
Haley Deegan. I hate to do it for her again. I hate to do this for well, here's the thing I'm torn about that is Haley Deegan made her first start and did pretty good at Kansas. So that's why I'm so torn about this one.
Yeah.
'Cause she's good. She did good, got almost top 15 at her first ever start at it, but the way she's been doing lately, I don't know. Just not really feeling it. Her. She's doing her best, but the driver to win. He's going to get his third Truck Series race back to back, doing what he did twice, beating his owner. I'm going with the Ford truck, John Hunter Nemechek, doing it again. And I say this to keep Kyle Busch from winning the damn race. Get his ass out of that win. It's going to be another one from Nemechek. As Taylor does the weirdest dance I've ever seen in my life, which makes me now want to change my stay away driver to Taylor just for that reason. Which I'm kidding. The Cup Series. This is another. It's tough. I'll start with the dark horse as well. The only driver I could think would be perfect for dark horse. He's good at this track. I'm going to give it to Harvick. Harvick's really good at Kansas. He's won a good amount of times here. I think Kansas think he's not going to win, but I think he's a good dark horse pick.
Alright, yeah.
Drivers stay away from. This one's tough. You know what? He has not been good. You mentioned. I'm going with the teammate of Taylor's stay away driver, Ross Chastain.
Wow.
Chastain has not been doing good lately. Let's be honest here. No. I gotta give it to Ross Chastain.
Alright.
My driver to win. This is another gut feeling. He's raced. I believe. No, he's not the most. He's the second to last most recent winner of this race. I'm going to go on a curveball and say we're going to have a 10th different winner. And I'm going to say Mr. Danny Hamlin's finally getting a win this season. Well, Hamlin's been pretty good lately. He's been so close so many times. In Kansas, maybe the race, he gets it.
Well, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. But alright, it's come down to me.
Oh no, run away.
Might as well start running, Wyatt. Jeez, man. But alright, here we go.
I can't run. He strapped me to the chair.
This, I think my trucks Trucks, I don't know about Cup though, but Trucks I think is going to be pretty easy for me as far as predictions are concerned. Driver to win. This is a no-brainer, John Hunter Nemechek, because of the fact the last 2 times that he's won, he's held off Kyle Busch of all people to do it. So maybe he might get 3-1 on his boss, because remember, the only time that Kyle Busch has won, Atlanta. And that is the only win that Kyle Busch has gotten in trucks this year. Which is very, when you think about it, that's very rare. That is rare. And I think this is a good kind of rare as well. Driver to stay away from, and I think this is another no-brainer, Todd Gilliland. He's had that kind of up and down year this year. Right now, I'm still kind of iffy about him, but at the same time, like, he does have his moments, but I just don't think he can have the finishes to back up his performances. Like, don't get me wrong.
I agree.
He's a good driver. He is a good driver. But I just don't think that his finish at Kansas this weekend is going to back him up. It's basically just going to back him up this year for this race. Which is actually tonight, by the way. And then Dark Horse, Austin Hill. Why I mentioned it. Last year he won one of the 2 races at Kansas. He won a doubleheader. Well, he didn't win them both. He just won one of the 2 races that were a part of the doubleheader at Kansas. So, no-brainer. Austin Hill, who is one of the best of the mile and a half as far as trucks goes right now. That's my dark horse right there.
And to add on about him, you mentioned him being good at mile and a half. He's been so close getting a couple of the wins now.
Oh, yeah.
Truck series.
Oh, yeah. He has been.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now let's talk about Cup here. Let's talk about Cup. See, I'm kind of torn on a few drivers for this one, because there are some candidates that I think could do really, really good and probably win at Kansas. My driver to win, he's going to get his 3rd win of the season. That's Martin Truex Jr. That's my driver to win right there. He has done pretty good at Kansas. He swept in 2017 before, so he knows how to get it done.
Yeah.
My driver to stay away from, this one is also just a little bit tougher. But at the same time, man. You know what? I'm just gonna keep on going with this train that I've got going on here. I don't know if this is actually gonna be a good race for him. I don't know if it's gonna be a bad race for him, but I'm just gonna say it's gonna be another one of those bad races. Bubba Wallace is my driver to stay away from. Again. You knew that was coming.
Kind of.
My dark horse, this is also a no-brainer on this one. Denny Hamlin's my dark horse. Kansas is another racetrack that has treated him pretty darn well. And with that, he could either win or just get himself a really good finish. So, right there, Hamlin's my dark horse.
Oh, we have a kitty on the show.
And looks like Wyatt has got one of his cats. Would you like to make some predictions?
Alright, the kitty's driver to stay away from for trucks.
Mine, that's mine. It's mine, you heck off. What's this? Logano on stay away, definitely. Bell, dark horse. Harvick, winner. Okay, that's Cup.
Cap?
I said that's Cup.
Oh, I thought you said that's Cap.
No. That's just Taylor's guesses are all Cap. Anyways,
Man.
what's this? Rhodes? I hear Rhodes is a dark horse. You're agreeing with me about Haley Deegan. Okay, and
Jeez, man.
and why you pick him? He's the leech. Get out of here. You picked the leech, the winner. Get out of here.
How about that?
Oh,
How about that? Alrighty, guys. to wrap things up, you got any final thoughts before we get this weekend underway?
My cat sucks at picks. I mean, you're right about Logano, but why Kyle Busch as the truck? Yeah, run away.
Just watch your cat end up being right.
I swear, if the cat's right, I better get some points off that, because that ain't.
Wow. Jeez,
All right.
man.
All right, the cat is our newest pit stop show member. All right.
Monkey, you're here. You're gonna help me get more points. Get your ass back here.
Jeez, man.
No, the cat's gonna be a separate panelist.
Damn it!
Wow.
Damn it!
All right, getting back on track here. Who knows? I think Kansas is gonna be good. We've seen some really good finishes and really good racing at Kansas. Restarts are probably going to be very intense. And who knows what we're going to see at Kansas.
I mean, it's a little bit more predictable than Talladega is, but then again, never say never on some things.
I mean, somehow I was able to predict Talladega, so that's something.
Well, that's just for Cup.
Hey, Xfinity was close.
Xfinity was pretty close, I will give you that one. But anyways, thank you guys a lot for watching episode 15 of the NASCAR Pit Stop Show. If you liked it, be sure to give it a like. And if you have not considered subscribing yet, I recommend you do so to keep up with some fine content coming out in the near future. And that about does it for me. On behalf of Wyatt Walker and Zachary Taylor, I'm Elijah Leonard, and we'll see you on the next one.
You suck at predictions, cat. The cat sucks at predictions.
And that's how it ended.